and welcome to World Renowned Wrestling Gambit Week 2. Tonight it's all about answers. What is owner George Sinclair going to do in regards to Kazimierz putting his son in hospital in an unprovoked attack? Why did the Street show up last week and disrupt the main event? They're not contracted with World Renowned Wrestling. And maybe, more importantly, who will walk out of tonight's main event as the new king of World Renowned Wrestling as Daniel Cage goes one-on-one with James Ali. Well, it looks as though we may get one of them questions answered fairly soon as the Street's music hits and Adam Smith appears on the rampway, accompanied by Street members Harry Armstrong and Pete Young, one of the best tag teams in the history of pro wrestling. And this is something we all here at World Renowned Wrestling have been waiting for. Answers. Why did the Street interfere in last week's main event match? They're not even contracted with World Renowned Wrestling. No contracts have been signed. They shouldn't even be here. But obviously, owner George Sinclair is going to give them the spotlight to tell their side of the story. What is this all about? And it looks as though Adam Smith making his way into the ring while Harry Armstrong and Pete Young wait outside. Let's see what they have to say. Adam Smith says, Mexico, Germany, Canada, Japan, multiple US states. For the past 20 plus years, the Street have travelled the world to beat the biggest names in our sport and to win every title worth winning. Out of all of those places, none of them were as bad as this crap heap you all call home. A month ago, the Street were contacted by the has-been owner of this indie-tastic company, begging us to join because he knew no one in the right mind would be watching these talentless nobodies throw each other around the ring every week. The funny thing is, has-been George Sinclair sent us the funniest contract we have ever seen. I mean, we're talking 4 figures a match? No benefits? We honestly couldn't stop laughing. Pete here came up with the idea of paying you all a little visit, and I'm so glad we did, because the arena, the talent, you fans, we just can't stop laughing. The thing is though, if Has-Been George wants to keep us here in Crap Heap City week after week, he's going to have to offer us something big. So we're off to the back now to join Davy and Anna, who are keeping Has-Been company. And if he's not in a begging type of mood, you won't see the Street in this arena ever again. Well, that's a lot to take in. The Street may be contemplating staying here if given the right contract. As we see earlier today, Daniel Cage arriving to the arena for his upcoming match with this man, James Ali. Main event for the title of King. Both of these men are going to give it their all. Moving on to our first match of the night. It is a newcomer match. Ollie Innes making his way down to the ring. This young man, one of the youngest on the roster at only 19 years old. This is his first official match, not only for World Renowned Wrestling, but ever. He started training at the age of 13 in his home city, Sheffield, before moving to Bristol to join the World Renowned Wrestling training gym, which was set up 2.5 years ago. He has been a massive prospect and even comes with his own nickname, which is The Natural. Parker Morton stands next to him, who is his official trainer. Winning his first match is going to be no easy task though, as his opponent, Aaron Noble, has years of experience over him. Noble joined World Renowned Wrestling around 6 months ago, and he took up a training position. As you can see, his trainee Erica Wilson has shadowed him to the ring, and he is going to show her what she is going to have to do when it's her time, just like it's Ollie Innes's today. Just because it is his first match today, do not think that Aaron Noble is going to take it easy on the natural. In fact, Aaron has gone through a bit of a change of his own, a bit more aggressive since he first joined World Renowned Wrestling. Let's see if he keeps it up in this match tonight. Ring that bell. And as the two lock up in the centre of the ring, let me remind you all of World Renowned Wrestling's second show, Tempo. If Gambit is the show where all our top stars are competing every week, Tempo shines a light on newcomers or those who can't get any time on Gambit but still deserve to shine. On last week's Tempo, we seen amazing matches from Zuri West, Gauze and Amelia Cade. If you love wrestling, you need to tune in. Going back to tonight's match, it does look like Aaron Noble has gained the upper hand from the lockup at the beginning of the match as he pulls Ollie into a swinging neck breaker there, taking him straight down to the floor before heading over to the corner there and showing off a little bit, but he should not turn his back against Ollie. Even though he is unexperienced, he still does have these big suplexes in his arsenal, as you can see. Aaron would have really felt that one. Bounces straight back up though and hits Ollie with a clothesline followed up by a knee to the face. There you go, kid. How does that one feel? Locking up again, it looks like Aaron picks him up and a snap power slam takes Ollie down. And you can hear outside the ring Erica clapping for her trainer as he's laying in the boots to the new guy. Well, if you're going to be good at something, you're going to have to learn. And in wrestling, you're going to have to learn the hard way and endure moves like that, just knees to the back. You don't really get that in many other jobs. I should mention as well that most people in the back will be rooting for Ollie. He's been training with us for, like I say, about 2.5 years now, and he's come leaps and bounds. He is an absolute natural star who has apparently loved the sport since he could stand. I mean, he can't stand anymore after that big elbow to the face. And he rolls out of the ring, maybe for some advice from his trainer, Parker Morton, or maybe just to get a little bit of a rest. He's came straight back in though, and look at that. A running neck snap from Aaron Noble. Goes straight for the pin as well. Doesn't even get one there. Ollie kicks straight out. You can see that he wants this more than anything as he picks Noble up. Brings him up to the shoulders and snake eyes straight over the top rope, followed by a seated senton. Could this be the big comeback story as Ollie's laying in those elbow drops straight to the knee of Noble? That'll slow him down a little bit. And there we go, going for a kick as well, really wanting to slow him down. And this time, I thought Noble was rolling out the ring, but no, he picks himself up on the ropes, gets a chop across the chest, and then once again Ollie going for the leg before missing a clothesline and once again being taken down by a float over neck breaker. That's a few moves on. And look at that, just an elbow to the face. My God. When I first joined here, I was given a handshake. Ollie's been given an elbow straight to the face. You can just see how different it is. I wouldn't last a second in there with these competitors. Aaron bringing the young one back up to his feet as he fires him off into the corner and lays a big boot into the chin. Going for another one. Hits flush, bringing Ollie back down. Aaron not going for a pin as he sets him up and almost hits him with another knee to the head. But Ollie turns it around with a little combo. And as you can see, the young man not at all phased about giving it back. With a back suplex followed, he keeps it hooked in. German suplex incoming. Noble on Dream Street, still hooked in, turns him around, suplex. An absolute amazing combo, and that's why he's called the Natural, as he pulls Aaron Noble into the centre of the ring to go for the pin. Leg hook, 2 count, kick out. As you could see, Erica Wilson trying to get the crowd on her trainer's side. And there we go, he comes back up with a clothesline, knocking Ollie down. Picking him up now, getting back to his feet. Up to the shoulder, slamming him down. And setting up for the big lariat, which strikes full force. Ollie is down. Big signature move there by Aaron Noble. But watch this. Picks him up into the suplex. This could be it. The sword in the stone. That could be Ollie knocked out completely there. And it's a 3 count. The winner is Aaron Noble. Parker Morton outside, you can see the worry on her face for a young student after taking such a big hit at the end there. But you can't take anything away for Aaron Noble. What a great match. George Grimley says, "Hey George, it's George. I know you're busy with the street at the moment, but..." George St. Clair replies, "Come back later." George Grimley says, "I know, but I'm looking for a shot at that new title, the Rook, is it?" George St. Clair replies, "Go away." George Grimley says, "Thanks George, I knew you'd come through for me." Well, as you've seen there, George Grimley begging for a #1 contenders match tonight for the title of the Rook. I mean, it didn't really sound like he got it, but he seemed happy enough, I suppose. But anyway, introducing the sister of No Mercy, it's Ava Blackwell on her way down to the ring, one of the world-renowned wrestling's women division regulars. She's been with us for around 2 years, and she is a force to be reckoned with. There will be an update tonight on what is happening regarding the title of Queen. And speaking of queens, you may know her as Miss AK123. We here know her as Amelia Cade, aka The Influence. I took a look just before we started and she is up to 2.4 million subscribers, and that continues to go up every single day. Amelia already has a televised win under her belt as she beat Sophie Vidal in last week's main event tempo. I'm sure both women competing tonight will be very interested in the update of what's happening in regards to the title of Queen, and I'm sure both of them will be in high standing for that. I think this one's going to get very physical, so let's ring the bell and see who comes out on top. First strike goes to Ava Blackwell as she gives Amelia a big stiff kick to the gut, followed by a power slam straight down before bouncing off the ropes and hitting a splash straight on top of Amelia. Get a 1 count straight away. She has come out fighting, maybe trying to halt Amelia's momentum after the big win on tempo as she throws her down on the mat. And we've seen this in our previous match, shown off to the crowd. When your opponent isn't that badly injured, Amelia gets straight up and starts laying in the punches before the two lock up. Amelia taking the back there, obviously wanting to continue her undefeated streak, but she gets overpowered by Ava, who just lays in a huge punch to the head there while she's in this headlock manoeuvre. Amelia now trying to fight out as she brings herself back up to the feet. I think Ava definitely does have a little bit of a size advantage. Look at that headlock takedown there, followed by a crushing clothesline as she kicks Amelia on the floor. Picking her back up to her feet now though, locks up, and what is she going for here? Picks her up into this suplex, little bit of a stall, and slams her down to the mat. Eva in full control now as she hooks in a chin lock, which might not seem like much, but any type of wrench like that to, the face area, it's going to cause damage. She's telling Amelia to get up, but Amelia rolls out for a quick break there, only to be hit by another clothesline. Amelia is going to have to do something soon. She's just being wore down. Move after move, hit after hit, and look at this, a military drop. Landing straight on her front. Amelia is in a lot of danger here, but she manages to roll out the way and retaliate with a clothesline. Only to be kicked in the head there, but another quick reversal, forearm to the face, and look at this, spinning head scissors, drops her down to the floor, and she gets up to the second rope. She's telling Eva to get on her feet, something big incoming, but Eva dodges out the way. Amelia once again in a bad situation as she's just wrenching on her nose there. Look at her just pulling it back. Come on, ref. You can't do that. Amelia taking her time to get back to her feet. Another gut kick, but caught. Eva pushes her backwards and receives a huge enziguri to the head. This could be the start of a big comeback from Amelia as she picks Eva up. What has she got planned here? Russian leg sweep. Eva now starting to feel it as Amelia lands on her after that flip, which is usually followed up. Yes, the standing shooting star straight into a pin. Just gets a 1 count there as Eva powers out of it. Amelia not letting up though as she brings her up to her feet, only to drop her down with that reverse DDT. And what's this? Lights are out. Eva's back up to her feet. Watch out behind you, Amelia. Punched in the back, but she has caught her leg. Drops her down with a sweep and a standing moonsault. How did Eva do that with the lights? Does she have some kind of powers? Maybe a light switch? I'm not sure. Amelia with the gut kick there, pulls her straight into this straitjacket, and there's that neck breaker, signature Amelia. And you can see her sizing her up for the 1 million sub face reveal. Hits it, and that should be game over. 1, 2, 3. Amelia wins. Brilliant match there, both competitors giving it their all. Amelia able to get the win now, and this brings us to our first break of the night. James Ali says, "I never lost the title of king. It was unfairly taken from me by George St. Clair. I'm surprised the title wasn't just handed over to the golden boy, Daniel Cage. That's what you should have done, George, because there's no way he's going to beat me in a match for it. I'm filled up with true hatred, and tonight it's been unleashed on you, Cage." Well, we've just heard from James Ali there in the back, and you can hear how he feels about this whole situation. He did win the title of king, but it was pretty much immediately taken away from him, and he absolutely feels bitter about it. And as I've said before, I am totally not surprised about that. He obviously has the chance to win it back tonight, as he is in the main event. Daniel Cage versus James Ali for the title of King of World Renowned Wrestling. But let us get back on track with the next match. It is a 5-way battle royale number 1 contenders match for the titles of Knights. Our tag team division is busting at the seams as numerous teams want their shot at the new titles. We've not had these titles before jumping to TV, so everyone wants to be the first Knights of World Renowned Wrestling. You've seen the first contender get into the ring, which was Trance from the tag team Atypical Genre with his tag team partner Rave. They have been with us for around a year in the tag team division. They joined World Renowned Wrestling together as a team. So this competition is everything they have been looking for a long time. The second contender you've just seen is Wayne Morgan from the tag team Council House and Violent with his tag team partner Greg Jones. If you watch World Renowned Wrestling Tempo, then you will have seen this tag team once already, although it didn't go too well for them in a 1-on-2 handicap match. They ended up losing to the newcomer Gauze. And here we have Reed from the tag team the Bristol Bouncers with his tag team partner Watson. And I'm not looking forward to the next person out, not for any kind of emotional kind of reasons, it's just that I can't pronounce the tag team name. Introducing Owen Sheen from the tag team Dry Goch, which I've probably absolutely butchered. I apologise to any Welsh listeners here. His tag team partner is Rhys Sheen, which is his twin brother. They've been wrestling together for a good couple of years now. They're still young, still have a lot to prove, but they're in this competition and they're looking to win. I mean, what a connection it would be if these two young guns become the Knights of World Renowned Wrestling when they have dragons on the costumes, you know? And introducing Matt Williams from the tag team Mr. and Mr. His partner Neil Williams, not only tag team partner, but also life partner, as they were married 2 years ago. It's another team that's been around World Renowned Wrestling around 2 years now. Apparently before coming here, not getting a great reception from other companies because of their relationship status. But that doesn't matter in World Renowned Wrestling. All that matters is that you beat your opponent and win matches. So that's all our competitors for tonight's match, each representing their team, and it's normal Battle Royal rules. If you go over the top rope onto the floor, you are out of the match. I'm going to try and keep up with this as best I can, because obviously there's so many people in the ring right now, I'm probably going to miss a few things, so let's just get to it. Owen Sheen with a big kick to the face of Trance there in the background. He's going for the leg, but as you can see forward here, big punch combo there by Reed on Wayne Morgan as he picks him up and slams him down in a spine buster manoeuvre. What is Owen Sheen planning in the corner? As he runs, he goes for the knee, but Matt Williams dodges out the way, grabs hold of him himself into the corner, and a big chop across the chest. Times that by 3. No, there's 4 and 5. Look at this, he's really going for it, absolutely lighting him up there, and all that stops him is an elbow to the face and a drop kick to the knee and a big moonsault off the top there. As you can see in the front here, Wayne Morgan with an arm bar on Reed, who manages to roll out with it and answers back with a knee to the top of the head before absolutely running through him. What's Owen got in mind? Power slam, boom. Reed on the offensive with Wayne here, throws him over the rope, but Wayne's managed to keep hold of the top rope and he manages to scurry back in underneath as Reed just throws Matt Williams back body drop as he releases halfway through. And look at this, just look at the pounding that Wayne is getting on the floor here. Absolutely ruthless by Reed. Going there with a front slam from the shoulders as well in the background, if you didn't see it there. And he follows it up with a kick to the gut. And here it goes, the 15-minute better slam. Apparently named for being 15 minutes older than his brother Rhys. He's now going after Reed, a few kicks, but Reed stops him and a forearm to the face. But look at this, Matt Williams with a backstabber manoeuvre before starting with Owen, who hits him with one big boot, knocking him down. Owen now concentrating on Wayne, who's our first man out straight over the top rope. Owen gets the first blood as he moves onto Trance. And as you can see, look at this. Reed absolutely throwing them elbows into Matt Williams' head, trying to knock him out. Much easier to throw him over the top rope if he's knocked out completely. And Reed laying in them punches to Williams that he's known for. Forearm to the back, turns him around, and while this is happening, Owen has Trance up in a powerbomb manoeuvre, running and slamming him down there. The amateur wrestling background coming in full play at the moment, as Reed has Matt in a big knee to the face. That could be him out. What a hit. Looks like Owen's just let go of Trance as well. Did he tweak his back there? Trance on the attack anyways. He throws him over the rope, and there we go. There is a second elimination as Owen Sheen is knocked out by Trance. I mean, Owen had a great match there. I thought he was doing really well. And what's this? Reed almost getting Matt over the top rope as well. But looks like he's managed to kick out of it, only for Trance to lay in a powerbomb there as well. Back body drop by Reed. Reversal flip by Trance. Reversal after reversal. Jawbreaker up to his shoulders. Where's he taking him here? A spinning side slam, maybe spinning power slam. I'm not really sure what that one's called, but it is a signature of Reed as he slams him through the mat. And speaking of Matt, he comes up behind Reed. What's he got in plan here? Big destroyer taking Reed up and over onto the head. Matt turns his attention to Trance, throws him into the corner. And what's he got lined up? Big drop kick. He turns back to Reed, who manages to get back onto his feet. Hits him off the rope, and there's that spinning elbow, dropping him down to the mat. Williams bringing Reed back up to his feet, and he's going to try and throw him over the top rope here. Reed managing to hang on as Trance has a go at Reed. He's over the top rope now, and here comes the push and shove. Who's going to get the upper hand? And I think Reed has just poked Williams in the eye there. And yes, Trance finishes him off, but turns straight into the altercation ender. The finishing manoeuvre of Reed. It is one-on-one now. Reed has the upper hand as Trance lays motionless on the floor. He picks him up, gut kick. What's he got planned here? Picks him up into a powerbomb, but he continues to walk forward onto his shoulders now. Drops him as a snake eyes across the top rope. Headbutt to the back of the head, and then just a toss across. See how far he got across the ring there with that just one manoeuvre. And look at these big elbows trying to knock Trance straight out. Absolutely upper hand to Reed here as he drops an elbow. The end is nigh, I think. Can Trance fight back from this? He is thrown over the top rope. He holds on though, but no, that is not enough. As Reed knocks him down, the Bristol Bouncers are going to the Big Bang pay-per-view. We could be looking at one future night in the ring right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could go all the way and win the gold. Daniel Cage says, "It's a big one tonight. I was king of world-renowned wrestling for a whole year, and it was the biggest honour in my whole life. I love this company, and I love every single DC fan out there that shows up to watch me. We can do this together. As for the street, I really hope they get what they need to stay at world-renowned wrestling, because I can't wait to kick each and every one of their asses around that ring." Daniel Cage there with the backstage interview. You can tell that he is absolutely ready for tonight's match. But I can't help thinking that in the back of his mind, he is thinking about the attack last week by the street, while maybe he should be concentrating on James Ali. The next match is another number one contenders match, this time for the title of Rook. Somehow George Grimley has wrangled his way into this position where he could be going on for a title shot, even after being beaten by Jock Strappin last week. But it's not going to be easy for George, as Freddie O'Connor makes his way to the ring. O'Connor is a seasoned pro. He's been doing this a long time. He knows the business. He is the business. And if you're unlucky enough, he's going to give you the business. I do wonder about last week's tournament, if people like Freddie O'Connor was part of it, what would the final have looked like? As Freddie O'Connor says himself, it is only a matter of time before he kicks someone in the face, and that's how generally his matches end. Just a heads up for you there, George Grimley. Keep your chin down. I mentioned earlier that Jock Strappin did beat George Grimley last week, and because of that, he is in line to face whoever wins this match at the Big Bang pay-per-view. Jock Strappin does have his place already. O'Connor here laying in those big knife-edge chops to George Grimley. They are not pleasant to receive, I am sure, but neither is a kick to the spine there, and then a stomp to the head. O'Connor now in full control as he brings George up to his feet, locks up and fires him off the ropes, drops down. What's he going for here? Ooh, knee to the chin there. Is George still conscious? Just a one count. George taking his time, getting up to his feet. You can see that knee has really affected him, and that punch to the jaw will too. As he rolls over to the ropes, he crawls underneath them onto the other side. He is not safe there as O'Connor snaps his neck over the top rope. You have to remember, George is the oldest member of the roster. He's taken huge drops like that off the ringside to the floor below. It is a big drop, especially landing on your back like he did. George is a professional. He is tough as nails, but time catches up with us all. And he has mentioned previously about hanging up his boots and at least going into semi-retirement. But the lure of titles and the lure of gold has brought him back into it. Am I saying lure right? Anyway, on with the match. O'Connor working on the legs of George. This is after the leg lock that he had him in for a couple of seconds or so. O'Connor bringing George back to his feet, but receives a gut kick and a few punches. But once again, O'Connor reverses with a punch of his own, and a snap suplex brings George back down to the mat. O'Connor climbing to the second rope, and he drops an elbow onto George. Anytime George seems to get the upper hand, it seems to be taken away from him immediately. It seems that O'Connor has a counter for everything as he whips George into the corner. And as you can see, Jock Strappin is watching this match closely. All that stands in the way of a title for him is one of these men in the ring. George absolutely flattened by a running splash there, and starts to roll out of the ring after an elbow drop to his back. O'Connor seems to be absolutely enjoying this match. It's not like it's a number one contenders match at all. As he fires himself over the top rope, George manages to roll out the way. This could be the comeback that George was looking for. How come he hasn't attacked him outside? He could have done something outside, put him on his back outside, but no. He's rolled him back into the ring and once again countered as O'Connor fires him over the top rope. Another bad tumble there for George, as O'Connor brings him back to his feet outside the ring. What's he got in store here? Scoop slam straight onto the back of George. That cannot be pleasant. Picks him back up. Another scoop slam. This is what I was saying though. George could have got these moves in outside the ring. He could have done this damage, but instead he tried to roll O'Connor back in the ring. O'Connor, another scoop slam. That's 3 in total. And he comes back in the ring. Is he going for a count out? You can see him there as he waits on the ropes arrogantly. But in my eyes, he has played the better game here. He has absolutely tore George apart. Faster, stronger, smarter. George, he's just been outplayed completely. O'Connor now with the fisherman's, but George fights back. He rolls O'Connor up. Referee goes for the count. Number 1. rolls back over. George this time on the bottom. 1, 2. Rolls back over, and the third time. 1. And again, it's back and forth here. Who's going to come out on top? George this time, but then a kick out by Liam O'Connor, and then bang, sling blade. You can sense the end is coming as O'Connor climbs up to the top rope, and he tells George to get on his feet. Flying DDT signature, Freddie O'Connor. I think that's it, O'Connor, go for the pin. But he doesn't. He goes to the corner, and oh dear, as he always says, it's only a matter of time. Knocks George out with one kick. 1, 2, 3. Freddie O'Connor is going to the Big Bang pay-per-view, and he is going as #1 contender for the title of Rook. Congratulations, Freddie, and good luck against jockstrapping. Welcome back, everybody. At the beginning of the show, I said tonight is all about answers, and I believe we're about to get one as Mr. St. Clair makes his way down to the ring. He has left his meeting with the street for this matter alone. What was Kazimierz thinking last week as he decimated Vincent St. Clair? Vincent received a concussion and whiplash, and he was very lucky that, he didn't break his neck, which is what I thought had happened when I first seen that replay from the night. But let's hear what George St. Clair has to say. George St. Clair says, Kazimierz, get out here now. And here comes the giant 6'10" Russian tank, Kazimierz. He has been with world-renowned wrestling since almost the beginning. He was the second ever king, lasting almost 1 whole year before Daniel Cage took that title away from him. He does what he wants, when he wants, and the only questions he asks is, who's gonna stop me? Let's hear what he has to say. Kazimierz says, so you now want to talk, boss man? After dodging me all last week, now you want to talk? George St. Clair says, just tell me, why did you do it? Kazimierz says, I am former king, yet I did not deserve a spot in tournament last week. Instead, nepotism. George St. Clair says, not nepotism. Everyone except the former 2 kings were picked at random. What you did was totally out of line, and there will be consequences. Kazimierz says, and what are you gonna do, old man? You have been broken for many years. George St. Clair says, oh, don't worry about that. My mind is still as razor sharp as ever, and I'm gonna come up with something good just for you. But for tonight, I've already got someone in the back ready to take you on. Kazimierz says, who would be stupid enough to... Oh boy, don't ever ask the question, who would be stupid enough to face me, because this man will always answer. Some adrenaline junkies get their kicks from bungee jumping or skydiving, but not Manchester Eddie. He gets his kicks from fighting. He's gone on record saying that he doesn't care if he wins or loses. It's all about the fight. It's all about how much he puts into it, how much he receives from it. He just doesn't care. Before joining world-renowned wrestling, he was well known for barbed wire matches, inferno matches, cell matches. Nothing was off the cards. I'm going to put money on George St. Clair not having to look far for an opponent for Kazimierz tonight. I'm going to guess that Manchester Eddie was already there with his hand in the air saying, pick me, pick me. I'm going to go on to guess this isn't going to be a match full of technical manoeuvres. It's just going to be 2 big guys knocking the hell out of each other. The two lock up now as Manchester Eddie ducks under the arm and hits a knee straight into the stomach of Kazamaya, who just replies back with a stiff arm shot into the head before going for the arm. Picking Manchester Eddie back up. What's Kazamaya looking for here? Dunks him straight into the corner, head first into that pad before the big chop echoes around the arena twice. Kazamaya now laying in those elbows straight to Manchester Eddie's head, knocking him down to the floor. And from what was said to George Sinclair, I don't think there's one bone in Kazamaya's body that is sorry for what he did to his son last week. There was no hint of apology, and to be quite honest, I think if given the opportunity, he would do exactly the same thing that he did. Kazamaya now whipping Manchester Eddie into the corner, and another one of those big chops across the chest before sending him back to this corner. Look how much force he put into that whip there. Manchester Eddie bouncing off them pads and having to use the ropes to get back onto his feet, but not into a great position as Kazamaya's waiting for him there, and he lays in those forearms, them elbows straight into his back. Kazamaya seems to be toying with him now, telling him to get back up to his feet as he picks him up, maybe for a front slam, but Manchester Eddie manages to use his weight to drop back onto Kazamaya as he climbs up to the second row and hits him with that double axe handle. Manchester Eddie in control now, dropping the knee across Kazamaya's neck, times that by 2. Maybe that one hit him in the chin this time. And Kazamaya has to roll out of the ring just to get a little rest there from the onslaught that is Manchester Eddie. But as you've seen there, Eddie was trying to punch him as he was getting in the ring, and Kazamaya just shrugged it off before suplex tossing him into the corner there. Waiting for Eddie to get up. What is this now? Onto the shoulders. He just walks around. Remember how heavy this man is. Some more drop. Kazamaya is just sheer power as he picks him up into a sidewalk slam, but gets kicked in the face. Look at that as a reversal. And a DDT brings the big man to the floor. Pin. Referee taking his time to get in place. Only a 1 count. Not that Manchester Eddie would be mad about this. He just wants the fight to continue on, I think. Bouncing off the ropes, and look at that spine buster with authority, and then follows it up with the drop headbutt. Kazamaya back in control now. Another drop headbutt there. Is it wise to be hitting Manchester Eddie in the head so much? Punch to the jaw stops Manchester Eddie in his tracks, and look at that release suplex. I couldn't really tell what variety it was from this position, but man, did it hit flush. Kazamaya now picking Manchester Eddie up from the floor, brings him back into the ring, probably wants this match over with now as he shows off a little bit. Look how big this guy is. Eddie's back to his feet though, waiting for Kazamaya to come in and hits him with a massive clothesline, and then look at that. A drop down headbutt for you, Kazamaya. This is how much it hurt me last time. Have 2 back. Eddie now gets him in position. Falling neck breaker before making his way back to the second rope. The last time it worked so well. He's going to it again. And a punch, flying punch there, straight to the jaw of Kazamaya. Big enough to knock him down. Eddie gets him back up, throws him into the corner. And look at that punch, punch, punch. Straight to the stomach, 2 lefts and a right, and then follows it up with a knee to the jaw. Are these the moves that you typically see in wrestling, or a barroom brawl? You decide, as Kazamaya once again rolls out of the ring. Can't take much more of that punishment, I don't think. Eddie with the short arm clothesline there, once again taking Kazamaya down. I do think he is wearing the big man down. But as I say that, a reverse Irish whip into the corner. Kazamaya on the offensive. Head to the turnbuckle pad there. And what's he got planned here? An attempted chop blocked by Manchester Eddie. Now Kazamaya in the corner. Whipped to the opposite corner and followed up with a knee to the gut. Manchester Eddie now creating some distance before running over. Kazmaier getting the foot up there and followed up with a swift punch to the jaw before picking him up and hitting him with that backbreaker there. 1, 2. It's a kick out by Manchester Eddie, but he looks as though he's in quite a bit of pain. You can see Kazmaier now having a go at our referee, Jason Thompson, but that has distracted him, and Eddie's once again gained the upper hand, dropping them headbutts. And now a bit of trash talk, and I don't think we can air what he actually said on TV here, but there's that punch combo that Manchester Eddie is well known for, showing off to the crowd now after knocking the big man down. I think Eddie is ready to finish this as he picks Kazmaier up. Kick to the gut there by Kazmaier, and look at that, just throws Eddie straight through the air like he's nothing. And I think it's time for Kazmaier to start trash talking now. Goes for something, but it looks like reversed into a DDT there by Manchester Eddie, who picks Kazmaier up and throws him over the top rope. Look at the big man fall. Wait a minute though, Liam Jackson's jumped the barrier, he's in the ring. The red card straight to Manchester Eddie, that has knocked all the air out of him. These two have had a rivalry pre-TV, and it looks as though that hasn't stopped. Kazmaier now back in the ring, stalking Manchester Eddie as he pulls him, into, looks like the finishing manoeuvre, the tank bomb, throws Eddie through the air to the floor below, and that should be it. 1, 2, 3, Kazmaier gets the win. I'm sure George Sinclair will not be happy with this outcome, but Eddie did all he could, and it was down to Liam Jackson's interference that lost him the match. Palestra says, since world-renowned wrestling began, the women's division has waxed and waned. Many could not handle the colossal competition and left, never to return. 3 talented women and myself have remained and have been given the chance to write history. At the Big Bang pay-per-view, Ava Blackwell, Amelia Cade, Zuri West and myself will take part in a match for the title of Queen of World-Renowned Wrestling. The type of match has not been decided yet, but due to the talent involved, it is going to be magnificent. For any of you who watched Tempo last week, you will know this lady as Zuri West, the Muay Thai master. She got a win over Asami Oda, a very, very dominant win as well, knocking Asami straight out with that roundhouse kick. You heard from Palestra in the back. It's all about the title of Queen, and Zuri is one of the top contenders for that title. The Greek goddess of wrestling Palestra gifts us with her presence. She has been with world-renowned wrestling since it first began, but before that she had perfected her craft in many other companies where usually she was draped in gold. A few weeks back, every single person in the locker room was asked one question: who is the best overall wrestler in our company? Now don't get me wrong, half of them voted for themselves, obviously, but Palestra won by the most votes. She is looked up to and she is well respected in the women's division especially, even going so far as taking her own opponents under her wing. But with all of Zuri West's opponents. Win or lose, Palestra is going to bruise. And I think it's going to be a great match. Let's ring that bell. Zuri West starting with a grapple which was quickly evaded by Palestra, and now it looks as though going into a bit of chain wrestling as she hooks in a wrist lock before transitioning up to the arm here. Obviously any damage she can do to the arms or legs of Zuri West is going to help her through the match. She sweeps the leg though, taking Zuri down, but not for long. Zuri straight up and whipped into the corner, and there's a big chop across the chest there. Elbow reversal and a knee to Palestra's face. Welcome to the match, Palestra. Look at that. Springboard moonsault. Looks like she landed on Palestra's elbow there, causing actual damage to her. Palestra now looks like she's going to start zeroing in on the arms of Zuri West. Anyone who knows Palestra's wrestling style, you know that she's going to aim for the arms, weaken them for a submission later on, which is usually how she finishes matches off. Maybe the armbar, probably her most famous. If you notice there, she hit a suplex, but she tucked the arm, so that's where Zuri landed. So once again, that shoulder, the arm, it's all going to be weakened, which means less attack power for her opponent and more chance of her opponent tapping out once that submission's in. Palestra now on the middle rope. What has she got? She jumps to the top rope and flies through the air. Cross-body block. Just gets a 1 count. What an excellent manoeuvre that was. Flew through the air. Most people who watch Tempo seen Zuri West absolutely dominate her match and is now watching her being dismantled. It wasn't a fluke. Zuri West is a certified badass. Palestra just seems to be outmanoeuvring her at every turn as she goes up for a springboard, but Zuri West manages to dodge out the way, hits a springboard of her own, kicks straight to the chest of Palestra, knocking her down, and Zuri is going to take the upper hand now, getting them punches in and the kicks in. Here comes the backlash of everything Palestra has done up to this point. Zuri throws her into the corner, and look at that big kick to the gut, the kicks to the chest. We know what's coming next. The face wash with the bottom of her boot bounces off the ropes for one extra one with a bit of pep. That is signature Zuri West, fully in control now as she makes her way up to the second row. Palestra careful now, misses with the knees. Palestra back on top, throws her against the ropes, over the ropes actually. Forearm to the face. What has Palestra got? Another arm move here, it looks as though, as she wraps the legs around her. Look at this manoeuvre. I don't even know what to call this, but it's absolutely doing damage to the shoulders. And there's a kick for you, Zuri. And look at that senton from the ring to the floor below. Instead of going back in the ring, Palestra looking to do more damage. That powerbomb shoulder breaker there, that is signature Palestra. Another move that is once again weakening that arm of Zuri West. She tells her to get up. Here comes another springboard. Misses that crossbody once again. Went to the well too many times. And here's this kick combo. Knee to the face. Followed up by the spinning back fist there by Zuri West. Once again, another signature combo move as she picks up Palestra, brings it down again. He's these open palm hits to the head. This match is backwards and forwards up to now. It does look as though Palestra has got herself into this situation with these high risk maneuvers. That's why they're called high risk. Zuri bounces her off the turnbuckle pads there, picks her back up and throws her into the opposite corner. This is where she does a lot of damage as she picks up, yes, Tree of Woe. Once again, I keep saying that name, signature Zuri West, but this is all in her arsenal as she hangs them upside down and she hits them knees into the ribs. Once again, Palestra falling on ahead to get out of the trio. The hook up again. And there goes Palestra straight over the top rope. Zuri in absolute control here. She goes out to meet her on the floor. Hooks the arm, goes for the knee, but Palestra manages to reverse with a punch to the stomach. And there's a retaliation combo from Palestra there. She brings Zuri up to her shoulders and hits with a backpack jawbreaker. Zuri on the floor now, getting picked back up and thrown into the ring. This could be the time for a pin maybe. But what do I know? I am just a commentator as Palestra picks it back up. Gut kick by Zuri West, getting out of that predicament. Goes for a kick herself, misses. Hooks the arms, and here we go. Double underhook suplex. Palestra now stalking her opponent. Gut kick, once again underhook, suplex straight into that armbar. This has finished so many matches in the past, and this one is added to that number as Palestra gets the submission win. Congratulations to Palestra in what could be the match of the night. But right now we are going to have to take a break, but we will be back for our main event. The door of George Sinclair remains closed. I was hoping that we would have heard something by now regarding the contract negotiation with the Street.
Baby, I'm back, baby, I'm back, baby, I'm back.
But that is going to take a back seat, as right now there is something much more important that we are concentrating on, and that is our main event. James Ali versus Daniel Cage for the title of King of World-Renowned Wrestling. We heard from James Ali earlier tonight in that backstage interview, and once again he is still feeling bitter about what happened with his title. He still believes it should not have been taken away from him in the way that it did. But he believes that he is walking out of tonight's match as king. If you tuned in to last week's Tempo, we had a segment called Pre-TV, which explained the rivalry between James Ali and Daniel Cage spans way back before world-renowned wrestling was even thought of. They know each other inside and out, which means most of their matches are absolute bangers. Let's hope for the same for tonight. In Daniel Cage's pre-match interview, he mentioned his reign as King of World-Renowned Wrestling. To quote Daniel Cage, "It was the biggest honour in my whole life." It is no secret that he absolutely loves this sport. He absolutely loves this company, where he has climbed the ladder from the bottom straight to the top due to his talent, his charisma, and, let's face it, just giving everything he has. I do wonder what George Sinclair has planned for the King at the Big Bang pay-per-view. Will they have to defend their newly won title? Who knows? I can't imagine Cage having a problem with that, but maybe James Ali might have something to say. And there is the belt which represents the title of King of World-Renowned Wrestling. Both men want it, and both men do not want their opponent to get it. Wait. Jason Thompson, I need you to come to the back right now. George Sinclair on the Titantron here asking for Jason Thompson to come to the back, our referee. How are we going to have a match without a referee? George, what's going on here? Are you at least going to tell us what happened with the Street? What's happening? Introducing your new referee for tonight's main event. What is going on? Adam Smith from the street in a referee's costume. What is this all about? Is this what they want? Is this to get them to join World Renowned Wrestling? They want to be referees? I don't understand. We all know what happened in last week's main event match. Daniel Cage, James Ali going at it. The end of that tournament. What happened? The street interfered and, let's not mince words here, beat the hell out of both contenders, leaving them battered and broken outside the ring. And going from Daniel Cage's interview in the back, he has not forgotten that, and he even said, no matter what it takes, you get the street to join us and I will kick their asses all over that ring. Well, Daniel Cage, it looks as though you may have got your wish, but is it a monkey paw that's granted it? We will have to see. And once again, this isn't just a normal match, this is for the title of King, as you can see there. I can't imagine Ali or Cage being happy about this, but what other choice do they have? Referee Adam Smith, ring that bell, and here we go. Starts off with a lock-up here. Can I just mention as well how crazy it is that a member of the street is taking part in a world-renowned wrestling match? I mean, I knew it would only be a matter of time before some of the biggest stars that everyone knows would come to us, but straight away, literally day one of televised programming and the street show. It's just crazy to me. Anyway, sorry, enough about my mind being blown. Let's get back to the match as James Ali, fully in control there, as he drops a boot across Daniel Cage's face, follows it up with a knee to the ribs there. Cage is on the defensive to start this match as James Ali homes in on the knee of Daniel Cage. As you can see, punch, 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 goes for the pin already. 1, 2, Daniel Cage kicks out. As he's seen, Adam Smith counting, calling it right down the middle. I'm just surprised, that's all I'm saying, I'm just surprised. Daniel Cage jumping back up to his feet and replying with that drop kick that he's known so well for. There's another one. After a quick punch combo, Daniel Cage takes the lead for the first time in the match as he hooks in a snap suplex, taking James Ali down to the mat, and a kick there to the arm as he picks Ali back up to his feet. What's he got planned? Goes for the Irish whip, reversal by Ali, brings him out of the corner, going for a powerbomb maybe, no, turns around and slams him into the turnbuckle opposite. Daniel Cage drops onto his feet, once again going for a pin. Adam Smith went down to count the pin, but he's seen that the foot was under the rope, it was a rope break there, and Adam Smith calls it again, straight down the middle. I'm sorry if I sound surprised, maybe doing Adam Smith a bit of a disservice there as Cage hits a great belly-to-belly suplex. But yeah, maybe doing the character of Adam Smith a bit of a disservice, as I say, he's absolutely doing everything down the middle here. Counting the one count as James Ali was outside the ring. Daniel Cage bounces Ali off the rope, and there's that drop kick, this time hitting Ali straight in the chin, goes for the pin. Adam Smith once again counting, just gets a 1 count. You can't fault this referee, you cannot fault him whatsoever. Cage now, back body drop. It looks as though Ali's head bounces off the bottom rope there, causing probably a little bit of damage to maybe his head or his neck. Cage dropping down to his knees, ducking that clothesline, drops another clothesline over his shoulder, and a big exploder suplex takes Ali into the middle of the ring. And Cage now grabbing that arm and going for them boots, wearing Ali down as he hooks in the arm, and he wrenches back on the wrist here, and then jumps and just lands knees first into the back of Ali. Not giving him a second to rest here. Cage hits a sort of modified monkey flip maybe. Ali on the floor once again, goes for the pin. Rope break. Adam Smith calling it right down the middle. You can't ask for more than that. As Cage bounces Ali off the rope. Spine buster. Usually a transition move into the DCBC or the top rope elbow drop. This time he thinks he can get the quick pin from it, but James Ali kicks out at 2. I'm not going to mention any more about Adam Smith calling it down the middle because that's just what he's doing. Ali flips Cage around there, clotheslines him in the back of the head, maybe that neck area, and then drops the knee into the ribs. What's Ali got planned now? Going for a neck breaker? No, once again turns around, elbow to the back of the neck, back of the head, and then just that knee lift straight into the face. And another one. Cage now probably seeing stars. Ali does not go for the pin, instead getting him up onto his feet and whipping him straight into the corner with enough power that Cage bounces straight back out. And Ali there just stomping on the hand of Cage. Again, Ali bringing Cage up to his feet, hooking him in. Off the ropes he goes. Ali drops down, Cage over him. And this time he comes the Tiger Bomb. Nothing Cage can do. Hits that signature maneuver, goes for the pin. 1, 2, this could be it. Cage kicks out at 2. We almost had a king of world-renowned wrestling crowned right there. Ali once again bringing Cage up. He grabs him and smashes his head into the top turnbuckle there. Ali now repositioning him, bringing him up to the top rope now. What has he got planned as he climbs up himself, hooks the arm, and a big back body drop from the top rope. That could be it. Ali hurt himself there. You could see him picking himself up very slowly. 1, 2. Cage once again kicking out. Digging deep as he has to roll out the ring for a quick respite. Cage probably feeling that big bump from the top rope. As you can see, he's trying to get the crowd on his side there before making his way back into the ring. He ducks past a clothesline and slams Ali down to the mat. Look at this, just twirling around on top of him. Wow, the disrespect from Cage there, just slapping Ali in the head, maybe playing mind games, getting him angry, making him make a mistake, who knows. This time it's Ali bouncing off them turnbuckle pads. And Cage hooks in the overhead belly-to-belly suplex, sending Ali into the centre of the ring, following that up with an elbow drop and a second one. Is he going to go for a third? Yes, he's starting to power up in the corner. Usually follows this up with a running elbow drop as Ali tries to get out the way there, but it still connects. Ali now brought up to his feet. Cage in complete control, hooks in them arms, usually goes for the backbreaker, but Ali's fighting it off. Back body drop there. As I've said previously, these two know each other inside and out. Ali knew what move he was going for there and managed to reverse it. This time it looks like he was going for the Ali driver, but once again Cage reverses it this time and hits him with that shoulder into the gut. Cage powering himself up, telling the crowd to come alive as he brings Ali up to the top rope this time. We've seen a back body drop from the top rope and it looks as though Cage is going to retaliate. Falcon arrow off the top rope. Ali is in big trouble. Cage does not go for the pin. This time going up the top rope. This could be the elbow drop. This has finished so many matches. Hits it flush straight to the heart. Here comes the pin. 1, 2. What? Adam Smith stands up. He does not finish the pin. The match is not over. What's going on? You can see Daniel Cage getting in his face. Lights have gone out. The street are in the ring. James Ali managed to roll out the ring only to be met with David Foxton, who was waiting for him. Kick to the face and now sets him up for these insanity power bombs on the floor outside. 1, 2. As we go over to Harry Armstrong, big high street slam to the floor, and he's this third power bomb from Dave Fox, and maybe 4 power bombs there. The camera cut away, I'm not 100% sure how many he was hit with there. Daniel Cage thrown in to the barrier there, and that is it. What is this all about as Adam Smith begins counting? What, you're going to count them both out after this attack? You're not going to stop the match? You're not going to... What else can we say? Both competitors, both main eventers, Daniel Cage, James Ali, outside the ring now. Supposed referee up to a 6 count. It doesn't look like either of them are going to get up though. It's going to be a count out. But what does that mean for the title? Was this this was the plan all along, wasn't it? Take them both out. But why? Why? And unfortunately, this is all we have time for tonight. Answers have been given, but more questions have been asked. Join us next week on Gambit, and hopefully we answer some more. Like and subscribe.